So for getting our hub page set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this out. And I'm going to start fresh just so you guys can see what this is going to look like for you guys. And everything's going to have a structure to it. This is going to keep you guys organized. It's going to make it easy to find what you're looking for. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a folder structure for myself. Some of you guys probably see like your Cart 101 website up on there still in your hosting once you connect to it. You can get rid of it. You can make a new folder and drop it into that if you'd like, just to save it. Or you can leave it as it is if you're fine with whatever organization or chaos might still be there. I'm just going to make a new folder specifically for Cart 206 for web design. So I'm going to right click in my local files window, and what I'm going to do is, let's see here, oops, so right click on my top folder here, and I'm going to hit new folder, and I'm just going to call this 206 or Cart 206, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to create a structure inside of that. So I'm going to have a folder for each of my website projects. So I'm going to right click again on 206 and hit new folder. And I'm going to call this first one Project 1. I'm going to click on 206 again, create a new folder, Project 2. And basically I'm going to make a folder for each and every one of my websites that I'm going to be making. Now you don't have to add these right off the bat, as long as you maintain the same level of organization and naming convention that you're using, you'll be fine. So just add one more. And what you'll do as you build your websites, you'll go and you'll drop your website into this folder. So we're working on Project 1. Our Project 1 is going to be this responsive stretching or fixed layout that we're going to be mocking up in Photoshop. We're going to start building that next week. That's going to go into Project 1. So that's the organizational structure for that. Now what I need to do is,
how do you create a folder
for here?
Yeah.
Basically what you'll do is if you're making the initial 206 folder, just right click in the top folder and new folder. And with these mice to right click, you might have to hold down Control on the keyboard. But basically if you want to nest a folder underneath, you just click on that top folder, new folder, type it in, and just drop it in there. And what you'll see is when I set my local location for this, so we know that I set this up on my desktop. If I come over to, let's see here, if I go and I visit my desktop, I'm going to see, here's my Cart 206 folder that I set up. If I pop that open, this is what I'd copy to a thumb drive just to make sure I've got a backup of everything with me so I don't lose my work. If I double click on that, you're going to see right there, there's that folder that I made through Dreamweaver. Inside that are my project folders. And then within that, you'd find your project files for the responsive layout, or something like our social crisis website that we'll be building, things like that. So now that I've got kind of a folder structure started out, I'm going to actually make my hub page. And we're going to make this using largely Dreamweaver to get it all set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize my files window, and then I'm going to go to File and New. And we've got a couple options here. For our hub page, we're just going to be making a straight up HTML document. It's not going to have any sort of styling, anything fancy. It's just going to be a list of links with our name above it. So HTML for the document type. These settings should stay largely the same under title. Drop in your name so we know who it belongs to. And then stays as HTML5. That's the latest version of HTML that is standardized. And then I'm going to hit create. And what that's going to give me is basically a blank document. This is where it's open for its full potential. This is where we start from. And just to refresh you guys on page structure, every document has tags. There's an opening tag and a closing tag. Some elements are self-contained. Something like a break tag is self-contained. An image tag is self-contained. And by that I mean it doesn't have an opening and a closing tag like the body tag here, where we have that / to denote the end of the body section. It basically opens and closes itself. So then we have here declaring our document type, HTML, HTML tag, our head tag. This is where all the invisible stuff like our title goes. So when you open a website, you see up along the top, computer art. That's what shows up there. So when I save this, that tab is going to read Ken Crosby. So now that I've got this far, I've basically just made a blank page. I'm going to save this into my folder structure and set it as my home page. So I'm going to go to File and Save. And I'm going to navigate to my Cart 206 folder. And it's just going to go right in this main folder along with my file structure. And this is going to be essentially my home page. So I'm going to call this index. So index.html, it needs the extension every time. It's going in 206. I'm going to hit save. Save the file. So now if I go back to Finder, there's the index file. There's nothing on the page, but I'm going to open it. And what you're going to see is a white page. I'm previewing this locally, which is why you see file : / users. It's pointing to the local location on the computer. Ken Crosby in the title, which is all I've done so far. So from here, all you guys have to do is add some basic information to this. You might remember from Cart 101 creating paragraph tags for text. So opening bracket, P for paragraph. You're just going to add your name. So Ken Crosby. And then I'm going to close it. So open arrow / P for closing paragraph. So Ken Crosby is now self-contained inside of these paragraph tags. Yes?
How do you get that to come up?
The split window? Okay. So if you're viewing the screen and you've only got like one section, up here at the top you can switch to either code or split or live view.
Okay.
Just choose split. If you want it horizontal or vertical, or other way around, horizontal or vertical split, if you come up to view, you can see here there's an option to split vertically if you want. Just because of the nature of the layout, I prefer it split horizontally. And that allows me to, if I want to see more of my code or more of the preview, I can adjust that as I need to. So now I actually have content dropped in here. I dropped my name in. So I'm going to save this document. And you'll notice whenever you make a change, a little asterisk appears up in the File tab. That denotes that there's unsaved changes to the document. So right up there next to it. So I'm going to save it. And if I come back and reload this, now we're going to see the content that I've added. So there's my name right there.
You save it in index?
What?
Do you save it as a new document or you save it?
Nope, you just save it as its current document. Like if you've saved it previously as index, you should be good when you click save again. If you haven't, go ahead and name it index and drop it into that folder. Okay, so now my title's there. It's called index. I've got my name dropped in a paragraph tag. From here, the only thing this page requires is links to the folders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new paragraph. So new paragraph. And I'm going to go ahead and just type in both my opening and closing tags. And then in between those, I'm going to start adding links. So what I'm going to do is, you can do this one of two ways. You can start typing it if you know the pattern, the actual markup for it. Or you can use the file system, one of the menus, to create a link yourself. So what I'm going to do is, I've placed my cursor where I want the link to go. I'm going to go to Insert, and then I'm going to look for hyperlink. Right there. So in that very first top divided section, you see hyperlink as an option. When I click on that, it's going to pop up this window. Under text, that's the visible part of the link. That's what people are going to see on the page and click on to get where they need to go. So I'm going to call this Project 1. Under link, that's where you're going to point to the file they need to go to. So when we actually start to set this up, we'll have a file in here, your index page, the home page for your website. You'll choose that, and then you'll click open, and it will add it to that. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to add just a temporary one for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. So this will be Project 1. So creating that link, I place the cursor where I want. I go to Insert, Hyperlink. I give it a name, what they're going to see when they go to click on it. I'm going to browse 206, Project 1. Here's the index for my Project 1 homepage. I'm going to select it and hit open. Target. The way Target works is it tells the browser, open this way. If you set this to target blank, what it's going to do, depending on the user's preferences on their machine, this is either going to open, when they click on the link, it's going to open the website in either a new window or a new tab. So for your index page, your hub page, you probably just want to set this to blank so it pops open a new window. That way they'll always have the hub page there so they can go back, close the current website, just go to the hub page and choose the next one. Title, this is for accessibility reasons. When you hover over the link, this is what will pop up in a little, usually a yellow colored box. You can fill this in if you'd like. I usually don't. And then I'm just going to click OK. And what you see here is it's now dropped in a link. So when I save this, and come to my browser and refresh, there's a link to Project 1. When I click on it, it's going to open a new tab. See there, it opened a new tab. And I have what will be the home page for Project 1. So this is what that file structure is going to reflect in your link pattern. So now that I've set this up, just this one link, I don't necessarily have to go back through that whole like file system of setting that link up. I can copy this and just change a few things. So what we have here is, this is my entire link. I'm going to copy this and just paste it a few times. So I know that my file system, everything's named the same, just the number changes. So I'm going to say on the second link, project 2, just change it to project 2. Project 3. So I'm just changing the number in this hyperlink reference, this path that points to the folder system. And then the clickable portion between those two links that people are going to see, I'm just updating that so they know what they're going to be getting to, what they're going to expect when they click on that. So now when I save this and come back and refresh the page, I've now got links to each of my projects. So from this point on, I just have to start building my project in the folder and upload it. Odds are I'll probably never have to touch this page again through the rest of the semester if I've set it up in a predictable way where I'm not going to have to come back and fiddle with things. If I don't want them stacked, right next to each other, I can come through and add breaks to this. So I can come up here and click in between. And give it some returns if I need to. Come back down. That does produce something kind of messy. You can see here that it's thrown them all into their own paragraph tags. What I might opt for instead is to come in and manually add breaks to this, which opening arrow, BR for break, closing arrow. The other version of this that you will probably see is a self-contained version, which is just BR space / closing arrow. Both do the same exact thing. So if I take this and just drop this in here, so I've got a link, I've got a break tag right after it. You can see here it's tiled them vertically now. And that's just telling it to add a line break and move them down. So as long as there's a list in here with working links, you guys are good. This is the simplest thing we'll probably build all semester. Okay.